I'm trying to finish watching this movie. I don't like it all because I do my little chats and I talk about current events and stuff, but I also was trying to do reviews and trailer reactions and rewatch things. You know, when I'm trying to watch this movie, I don't like it all and I'm forcing myself through it. But I felt like because I'm so nervous in a way, because I can't, it's 8:25 in the p.m., I can't focus my attention on this movie. I feel unsettled, and I feel unsettled a lot, and I'm not usually like this. And my own life circumstances are the way they are, fine, whatever. But the world isn't right. Things aren't right. There's so many things that seem off. I'm like, it can't just be me now. I've been sitting here a few nights now and again, and I'm just like, okay. I can hear people playing basketball, okay? And I can hear neighbors maybe sitting in their cars. But once it gets to be nighttime, like after dinner, it seems oddly quiet. As I'm saying that now, there's going to be noise. Like I can hear a motorcycle going up the other street or something like that. But for the most part, you ever feel like when things are so quiet, and I don't complain about quiet. I love quiet. I love peace and quiet. But when it's too oddly quiet, that's been happening a lot at night. I think it's because everybody's staying home. I think people don't have money to go out. People don't have money more than anything for gas, okay? I live in a place where people don't walk. I mean, you can walk around, but people usually drive everywhere. And I live on a semi-main street, so usually every couple minutes there's cars going up the street, you know. But what's been happening is it's so super quiet. Occasionally, like a truck will come by and it'll bounce as they do when they get to a certain point in the road. But there's been so many nights in the last week or so, you can hear a car going by now, but where you're just not hearing it at all, and it's just like half an hour stretches, or it just seems like really long stretches of you not hearing anything except the TV you're watching or noises in your own house, which is nerve-wracking. It is. And so that's unsettling, but also I feel, again, and I've said this before, I feel like there's no real news, or I'm not really finding out what's going on in the lives of other people. What's going on with my fellow Americans. I hear stories about, you know, okay, there's a what do you call it, baby formula shortage, but I don't hear about it in real life. I hear stories coming through the television. I hear about things like today tennis was on. I barely paid attention. I know what happened. Somebody's nervous and the match goes by like that. I've known this for many, many, many years, decades now, because that's what happens in Grand Slam finals. But it's like there's just like, I want to say there's no soul to anything. There's no, it feels like things aren't real anymore. They're not. And just because I said all this, now there's noise. There's people coming and going outside. I can hear people. You could probably hear them outside my front door, getting in and out of the car, whatever. But it has that feeling of a vacuum. Or if you watch like a movie that was supposed to be set in the future, like Sleeper or something, you remember the Woody Allen movie, how quiet it was everywhere? And because it was just, you know, I just feel like there's almost not a reality that we're all sharing common. Like we're all making our own realities. We're all living in our own little worlds. And everybody's got their own opinions. I'm over here doing my YouTube channel. People are doing their Instagram pages. People are doing their TikToks, whatever. And now, like I said, now I'm going to hear cars and stuff like that. But for a long while, I was sitting here watching this movie and only hearing the movie. And I was like, I've been feeling like this is happening over the last couple weeks. And I feel like it's because people don't want to spend money for gas. They tell the story every day of how the gas prices are going up and going up and going up. And they're talking about it again, saying it's going to be $5 in the next couple days. I don't have a car, so I don't have that issue. I know I saw John Schneider say he put a full tank of gas. I don't know if it was a truck or if he has like a RV thing. He said it was $300. And I'm just like, I don't know how. I mean, of course gas prices impact people, but I haven't had money for so long when other people have. I haven't had the money to even attempt to get a car. So that people had money for a car, payments and insurance and gas and all that was so far beyond anything I was doing that I thought they were fine. So to think that all these people who were fine all this time now are being broken, not by how much the milk costs and the eggs and stuff like that because of inflation, but really because of how much it costs to fill their gas tank. If I knew my life sucked and I said, well, those people are alright, I thought the level of alright that they were would cover that. Because I thought they had enough if, you know, something went wrong or, you know, if they suddenly had to do something. I thought those people were that far above me, which they still are. But I didn't think that. It's been a few months now, right, of these insane gas prices. I mean, people could just cut back going places. You know, unless you have to drive like an hour to work. Then that's really screwed up. What if you're just, you know, going to and fro from work and you live, you know, 5 minutes from your house, or you got to do groceries. You do groceries less. You know, you can, you know, not go, let's go to McDonald's and go through the drive-thru. You cannot do those kind of things. But for people to really be in dire straits now, but when they were okay, let's say the last day of last year, say December 31st, 2021, they were fine, and they weren't rolling in dough, but the pandemic and everything hadn't affected them that much. Now all of a sudden they're hitting the skids just because of the gas money, because it seems like, and they're really perturbed and pissed off and bent out of shape. And then there's all this other stuff going on, like I said, the baby food shortage and baby formula shortage. And like I said, you hear people talking, and whether it's people who have a channel or people out in the media, everybody kind of looks like they're kind of pretending. And when you talk to people, everybody seems like a nervous wreck. And if I talk to another human being, they seem like way more of a nervous wreck than me. And I'm like, but I'm the one who's on the edge. I'm the one who, and you look like you're about to implode. And I have no idea what's going on in these people's lives. But it seems like everybody, it seems like any random stranger I talk to is that close to snapping or losing it or not being able to handle something that's going on. And I have this enormous guilt, and I feel really bad because in any given moment, I'm slightly nervous, and I feel that things are on edge for everybody. And I know my situation is stupid, but I feel like I don't have the right to be as calm as I usually am in any given moment. Because maybe my brain doesn't work. I just bought brain pills. They were calling to me. They were on the shelf in Walmart where they didn't belong. And I didn't know how much they were. And the therapist told me there was no help for me. And I've been saying maybe it's a cognitive issue. All this time I haven't had money to buy pills. Now that I got a little bit of help, I don't want to spend that money on anything but bills. But I've had to. And it upsets me. And I'm in the store and I'm looking at it and it's saying, you know, basically saying eat me. Which is terrible. But and I'm like, well, all right, I'll carry it around the store until, you know how Walmart has the little zappers, so you can see how much something costs. They said, well, I'll find a zapper. And if it's more than $15, because brain pills like Prevagen, you go look at them. Those things were expensive. The same thing with like knee pills and stuff. That's why I complain about these things and I don't fix them, because it's like, that's way too much of an expense. So I was going around the whole store. I went and found I knew where there was one zapper. It wouldn't zap. It wouldn't say anything. So I went to another zapper. It wouldn't zap. I just walked around the whole store doing the rest of my thing. It's still in the cart. And I'm like, it won't zap, you know? So I'm like, I think the universe is telling me you have to buy this. As long as you have enough for it, you have to buy it. So my threshold was going to be 15, but it ended up being 11.22. So I was like, well, I'm buying it then. But now I'm afraid to take it, because I'm like, what if I'm calm because my brain doesn't work? What if I take it and then I come up to speed and then I'm just the same nervous wreck as everybody else? You know, now I'm scared. I got a flame over here. I bought votives at Dollar Tree. I decided I wanted to banish some evil. So I got a packet of, it's McDonald's packet of black pepper. So I said, well, black is supposed to absorb negativity. Let me take the black, take the pepper, put it on top of this votive and light it. This flame is high as hell. And I'm like, how is this? Wait a minute. Can you see it? Can't really make it out, right? The flame is super high. I've never seen this before with a votive. It's like 2 inches high, this flame. Let's see if I put it. I don't want to light myself on fire, but can you see it? It's just a votive. It's weird how that doesn't show up. How do you take a picture of a flame? See what I mean? Because it's going straight up. It doesn't look like a glowing ball to me. But that's what it looks like on there. That's interesting. But it's like high. It's like, how high is this? Yeah, so the whole thing is this high. And I'm like, that's a flame. That's that high. It doesn't make sense. So I was trying to banish evil, or any bad juju anybody's sending me, or any bad karma, or any other people's energy. This is my Palo Santo. This is my last one. Look at how thin it was. It's not right. Something's wrong. I've been talking about twilight zones and stuff like that, but it has escalated. My life is on its own little stupid trajectory, and it seems like everybody else's has somehow come parallel to me. Even though I started off way below everybody else. My ears ringing. Uh-oh. It got that eerie quiet again, and now my ears ringing. It's 8:38. It's starting to get dark. I don't feel comfortable. I feel wrong. Things aren't right. I think everybody's lying because everybody is embarrassed how bad a shape they're in. That's my guess. That's my guess. Maybe I want everybody to be in bad shape like me. I really hope I'm not that kind of person. But whenever I talk to somebody, they're talking about all these new problems, and you know, I stupidly made an appointment at the dentist. I shouldn't even go. I was just like, if things fall out of my head, they fall out of my head. I don't want to argue with another medical professional, because that's what happens. And then I end up feeling bad about everything. I'm sitting here going, why am I even thinking of doing that? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's wrong. I don't want them telling me to do things and all this shit when I should just, you know, let my teeth fall out. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to put in any more effort than I have to, because I don't have any left. And if it's not an emergency thing that needs to be done, I shouldn't be doing it. You know? In any fashion of my life, I shouldn't be buying anything that's not an emergency, like brain pills. But that might be an emergency now, because I'm not going to get help from any I'm not, nobody's going to put me on a wait list for a cognitive test. It's going to take 6 months. Even though I wanted to be on one more than 6 months ago. So they're trying to tell me, I mean, when you talk to these therapists, at some point they start talking and you're like, I think they're having a harder time than me dealing with the current state of the world. When we bring up the current state of the world, they start going, and it's like, I'm not making that face. I expect the world to suck. I complain about it, I talk about it because I see how it's happening, and I'm saying these are the people doing it, or these are the people who are making it worse when it doesn't need to be, because I want everybody to say, hold on, stop. But nobody's saying that, because nobody listens to me, which is, I understand it. I don't think if everybody listened to me, the world would be great either. It's just, when I think about it, I get sad. Like I said, the tennis was on. I could think about was Boris Becker. That makes me so sad, and it seems ridiculous. Yeah, I'm trying to watch the stupid Raid movie that I don't want to watch. I'm forcing myself through it because it's supposed to be so great, and I'm just like, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm tired of jail. I'm just sick of the idea, the concept of jail. You know, everybody's life sucks one way or another, and everybody makes mistakes, and everybody does bad things. Punishing people because they got it wrong. Punishing doesn't do anything. If there's people you really think are going to harm someone else, and therefore they need to be kept away, then keep them away from people. But the punishing, I don't have time for that. Taking away somebody's job, putting them in jail, whatever punishment you're trying to do to teach the person a lesson, or teach them that they can't do that anymore. Like I said, if you believe somebody's really going to harm another human being, and they need to be kept away from other human beings for that reason, fine. But the punishment aspect, or the idea that you got to show other people, you're going to make someone an example, I don't have any time for that now. So like I was just thinking about everything in our society. I'm almost against everything in our society now, which is crazy. But it's like every day I hear about something else that's getting worse, or going in the wrong direction, or, and you know how people say do not want every freaking day, every new thing I'm thinking do not want. And I'm hanging on, and I don't know why. I've said that a million times. If, just like a flame, if you should extinguish when you're done. When you no longer have a purpose, or you may have a purpose in the universe that's not of your choosing, but when you're just existing for some reason and your heart's not in it, you should expire. You should just fade away, like Yoda, you know, just stupid green t-shirt be sitting here. You know, I think so many of us just don't want this. We don't want what's happening. We don't want the world we're in. And the people who created it, they don't even know what's happening. You know what I mean? I really believe that all of our governments the world over, they did a bunch of stupid stuff in response to a pandemic. They did a bunch of stupid stuff before then. And now we're all reaping what they sowed. And nobody wants this. Nobody wants this harvest. And it happened so stupidly, and it happened so quickly, and it happened in such a messed up way that you almost want to not even blame anybody, because it's like, how, no one person, I do talk about the bad man, but even the bad man couldn't want this. There's something about it that's so, it's like vomit. Nobody wants to vomit. Nobody wants to be around vomit. Nobody wants to go to the movies with vomit. Nobody wants to store vomit or have extra vomit for later. I mean, it's like the world is vomit right now. And even the people who make the vomit don't want to keep the vomit. You know. I'd like to cry. It seems indulgent. And it's just like, what are you doing? I've cried a lot in the last year. Not because I'm depressed, just because just a overwhelming feeling that either my own exact life or the world at large, it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. I just have such a feeling of it shouldn't be this way. My life shouldn't be this way. Life in general shouldn't be this way. The state of the world shouldn't be this way. Like people, like I was watching Cassie from Popcorn and Bed. She was doing a reaction for Patriot Games, which is the movie where I first saw Sean Bean and he became one of my favorites. And at the beginning she was crying because of she had taped it the day of the shooting, and I don't have those reactions. And it makes me feel bad because it's like I have a lot of feelings, but I don't have feelings on that issue anymore for a long time. And it doesn't strike me the way it strikes other people, because they are still able to say, well, this shouldn't be happening, this shouldn't be happening. And it's like, it happens so often. It's like rain. It's like a rainy day. And if you hate rainy days and rain ruins everything for you and it messes up your hair, you can't keep saying it, you know, it shouldn't be happening, because it becomes a thing that happens. And for me, it's like, I feel like I know the reasons. I feel like everybody knows the reasons things are bad in the world. Like I said, people want to talk about guns or they want to talk mental health, and I'm always talking about the state of the world and how difficult it is for humans and the human condition and what causes all this crap in this world. People don't take care of each other, and I'm talking about the shooters weren't taken care of somewhere along the line. And the government doesn't take care of its people. You see this with the baby formula. You see this with the prices. You see this. And it's just like, when the shit hits the fan and when times get tough, people become more and more every man for themselves and dog eat dog. And it's this feeling of people caring so much but then not caring at all. It's this weird, like I said, this netherworld, this space we're existing in where absolutely nothing is right. And like I said, people are panicked, and I can see it in them, and nobody knows what to do. You know? And it's just like, I don't know what to say to people, because I'm coming from such dry, flat place of expecting everything to be shit and hopeful nihilist, whatever that is. I've always had a little bit of nihilist in me. People always said, oh God, I worked at this place called Globex with this girl Natasha. This was in 1998. No, 1997, I think. Okay, I would have been 23 or 24 at the time. And one day she's like, ha ha ha, because we were talking, and one day she's like, ha ha ha, you remind me of Nietzsche. And this is back when I was happy and not fat, and I still thought my life could be good. So, I've been looking into dark corners. This is why I don't want to watch a movie about the seedy underbelly. The world is the seedy underbelly. I don't want to watch a movie that's gray and poopy and just sad poor people doing sad poor people things and exploiting other poor people to try to not be poor, but they're all still poor and they all still live in a shitty place, and it's like, just be poor and don't do bad things. But it feels like the end of the world, but the stupid end where it just lingers, you know? Like imagine a movie. Imagine you're sitting in the movie theater watching a movie, and the movie's over, and it just goes black, and the credits don't run, and you're like, is it over? And you're just sitting there waiting to know that the movie's over. And you keep hearing like some kind of, like maybe in the old days when there was film, you heard the film going around and around. You're like, is it over? I just feel the world should be over, but it's not. And we're all just sitting there like, is anybody gonna fix it? You know, is anybody gonna do something? Is this is just how it is? And we don't. This is just like life, and this can't be fixed, and the babies need the formula, and you can't fix the economy. You can't do something about this. You can't. The gas prices just like this, and we have to live like this now. And people were saying, I didn't think this. People were going, there was a guy, they were interviewing him, and he was an older guy, and he's like, I never thought this was going to happen, like $5 gas. He was like, I didn't think this was ever going to happen. The guy with a whole lifetime of experience, right? I tried to ask an old guy who had a veteran's hat on when we were in the bus. I said, I've never seen that in my lifetime. The diesel was $5.99. And I've said, I've never seen that in my lifetime. Have you seen that? And he was like, yeah, I've seen it. I was like, okay. And he's like, and it's just gonna keep going up. And it was like, I think he was mad at me for asking him and bringing it up at all. You know? And I think, like I said, I think that's what the thing is. Distract yourself, think about something else, or pay attention to what's going on and lose your mind. I'm somewhere in between having my brain be lost. Now I'm afraid to take the pills and have my brain come back online and freak out. In a way I haven't freaked out in a long time, because maybe the whole reason I've been calm and peaceful sometimes is because my brain doesn't work. But I don't feel right about anything. It doesn't just feel like a money issue. It doesn't just feel like an economy. It feels sinister. It feels like a bad timeline, or like a tangent. Remember in Donnie Darko there was a tangent timeline? It feels like something that's not supposed to be. It just feels like we're in something went wrong with this universe that we're in. And it's not fixing, and there's no hero coming in, and there's nobody presidenting, and we're just like, yeah, we need help, you know? What was that movie? Oh. After Crash, Paul Haggis made another movie. I don't remember what it was called. I remember liking it when I hated Crash. And all I remember is Tommy Lee Jones put a flag upside down, which wasn't disrespectful. It was supposed to mean, it was supposed to be like an emergency, like that meant emergency help or something like that. Help, there's an emergency. I can't remember the name of that movie. But yeah, the point was, everything's screwed up. We need help. So you put the flag upside down. In the Valley of Elah? Did I just come up with that title? I don't know. It was something. to just sitting next to the brain pills. That, I don't know if I just made up that title, but I think that's what it is. But yeah, so I'm just like, I don't feel right, and I feel a little bit scared. I feel scared at the world I'm in. I feel scared about my own situation, but I feel scared because I know I'm too calm about it and I haven't done enough. And I know part of me doesn't care, but then there's the other part that when I do think about it, I'm going to panic. Just like everybody else. But everybody else looks panicked already. Everybody else looks like they can't take it already. And I'd like to be the person who can sit there and talk to them and calm people. I would love to be that person. I would love to be the therapist that doesn't exist that could help me. But I'm not in a position to do so. I'm not on stable footing. I can't help people. I don't have my shit together. I would love to be that person, though. Because I see that people need comfort, and I see that people need reassurance, and I know it's not coming from anywhere. This is what the clergy used to do. I guess there's less clergy than bodyguards right now. Bodyguards. Not bodyguards. What do you call them? Lifeguards. They're saying there's a lifeguard. There's a shortage of every single thing. What happened to all the lifeguards? Where did they go? You really mean to tell me every single thing has a shortage right now? Lifeguards? There's no more kids who like to swim? Teenagers? That doesn't make sense to me. There's a lack of everything. And everything's too expensive. I mean, I want to sleep and I want to be comfortable, and I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid of the next thing that's going to go wrong, or something that went wrong in the past happening again. Because I don't know what I can handle anymore. Because I've been too calm and I feel guilty, and I feel like something's going to happen to me to match everybody else's fear, which by rights I should have way more fear than everybody else. Maybe it's apathy and I'm calling it calm. I don't know. I'm afraid to take these pills now. I'll take one in the morning if I make it through the night, but I feel foreboding. I feel I'm tired. I really feel like I could fall asleep right this minute, but I feel really strange. I've been watching DVDs most of the day, so the TV hasn't been on, and the lack of TV noise that I'm so accustomed to, I think, is making it worse too. Because the sound of cheering, and that I'm not even paying attention to. All these shows where there's all this cheering and commercials and jingles and the stupid sound effects in the commercials, and just not hearing all that background noise is also making me uneasy, just because I'm watching DVDs. I don't know. I'm scared. But look at how calm I am as a scared person. I don't know. Something's not right. Something is really... I don't know why I can't... Irregular. Unnatural. Unstable. Something is wrong, and I don't know what it is. Like, maybe we've gone off our axis and nobody said. Maybe an asteroid's headed right for us and nobody said. Because I don't think it's just my life that I'm picking up on. It's like something really crazy is going to happen or is happening, and we don't know about it. Like, all of a sudden dinosaurs are going to show up, or all of a sudden the world's just going to pop. Something's not right. I don't think humans deserve it, but I would like it if when the bad thing happens, it's peaceful and nobody suffers too much. We've already suffered. Every single human on this earth has suffered. Whether some do the suffering to others more, we've all suffered. All of us shitty people, every single one of us. And I don't want anybody to suffer anymore. It's too sad. And I believe it's unnecessary. I want us all to just be happy, contented, and safe. Whoever you think the bad guys are, I mean them too, and I mean them especially, because they wouldn't do bad if they felt that way.